Hello, Canucks fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Canucks Conversation, delivered to you by the great folks at DoorDash.
Ding dong.
You can use promo code CONVODD, capital C, capital D's, all one word, CONVODD. That will get you 25% off and free delivery on your first order with the DoorDash app. Does not get much better than that, folks. My name is Dave Quadrelli. I'm joined, as always, by the man who built the place, Chris Faber. Our technical producer is Alex Allard. High above Rogers Arena on what I thought was going to be a pretty stormy day, but turned out pretty nice out here.
Beautiful day out there. Lots of sun, perfect amount of clouds in the backdrop. We got the bad angle here. You can't see, but everything above the clouds there, bright blue skies.
I brought a raincoat, and it's a pretty nice day. But yeah, high above Rogers Arena. This is the Canucks Conversation. The Vancouver Canucks are fresh off of their first win of the season. We both called it, Chris, even though at the end I said 5-2 Kraken as my score prediction. The Vancouver Canucks toppled the Seattle Kraken. Let's switch up the cameras here. Let's move it on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I bought a new pair of pants today.
Really? We're starting with this?
Yeah, I bought a new pair of pants at Costco. Great deal, $22.99. Is there any better spot to buy clothes than Costco? Like for the price that you get? I don't think so.
I can't disagree. Do you get the Nucks, the slippers? Do you have a pair of those?
No, I don't wear any slippers or anything like that.
You should get yourself a pair of those.
I don't like wearing socks in general, so I don't. I like barefoot around the house. Well, no, I wear socks around the house, but once the night's at its end, I take my socks off as quick as possible.
Yeah, me too.
I like fresh air on my feet.
Okay, now this might sound weird, and I'm really going out on a limb here. Do you ever take your sock off halfway? Like, do you ever let it dangle off your foot? You do?
Yeah, like just the heel.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, Thank you. I just needed that justification because in the chat.
Costco dress shirts. That's what Arjun's in here saying. I bought dress pants. But they got a flexi waist for big guys like me. We like the flex waist and the flexi groin as well. So I don't have to worry about
flexi groin would be nice.
Back in the day when I was working at the mill, one day it was a tough morning and everyone was working hard that day, which was rare at the mill because normally you didn't work very hard. And me and this other guy, we both ripped our jeans on the same day. We had a hell of a laugh. Me and the other guy who was 6'8", shout out Brad. We both ripped our pants on the same day. Hardest I've ever laughed at the mill.
That is pretty funny.
Mm-hmm.
So these flexi groin,
these flex ones, I swear by them now. I'll show you them after. They look like dress pants, but they feel like sweatpants, and it doesn't get much better than that.
Okay.
Canucks made a trade.
They did.
You want to start there?
Yeah.
Quickly, let's touch on it. Then we got that in the poll question later. Then let's get to the game because they won last night. The Canucks won last night.
I gotta tweet something out.
What are you talking about? You got to tweet something.
I just got told by a source that Lane Peterson, newest Canuck. Nobody tweet this. Actually, I'm gonna tweet it first. You keep talking. I'm gonna tweet it and then I'll say it out loud.
Okay, I'll just start with the game. Or no, you want to get to the trade in a minute here. Let's just get it off the table. If you haven't missed, if you've been offline on Twitter, hey, if you come to YouTube for your daily Canucks updates, like shout out to you. About an hour ago, the Canucks traded a 5th round pick for Ethan Bear, who.
Whoa, we're not glossing over that voice crack.
No, it's not a voice crack. My throat's been acting up here. Ethan Bear at $2.2 million contract, but the Carolina Hurricanes are retaining $400,000. They also added Lane Peterson as well. So a couple little players coming this way here. Bear's going to make an impact on this defense core right off the bat. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Kyle Burrows, who I think has been pretty good so far for the Canucks in a bottom pairing role. So I'm curious to see where Bear gets used. Like, what an opportunity you would think if at some point, like, and this isn't to say that Bear is like a top pairing defenseman, but because of the situation of the Canucks defense core, wouldn't shock me to see Bear play alongside Quinn Hughes at some point here pretty soon.
He can move the puck, and I've said this. I said it about Jack Rathbone. I say it about all Canucks defensemen. If you can move the puck and make a tape-to-tape pass out of your own end, you deserve an extended look with the Vancouver Canucks, especially with their current iteration. I'll read the tweet. You can spray your throat.
I'm just gonna get it. My throat is. I'm not sick, but my throat is. It's. You know what it is? These Betway videos. They got me doing so much extra content now for the nation here. Betway. $20 right there. And I just they're wearing me out here. So yeah, I got my throat spray here. I'm gonna hit a couple of these while you do your little insider.
So my tweet, I posted it, and I wanted to tweet it before I actually read it on air because I had a feeling Cody Sievertson was going to swoop in and tweet it out. But Lane Peterson, longtime boyfriend of Luke Schen's sister.
Jeez, they're keeping it all in the family again.
Yeah.
The old Jonah Gadjevich 2.0 here. Spencer Martin.
So let's talk about this trade a little bit. And I know you didn't really want to, but
I want to do the game.
I know you. Okay, sure. Let's talk about the game. We're going to be joined by Kevin Woodley. I think we should have started with the trades that happened, but we're not going to. We're going to start with.
People are blaming my voice crack on the morning hot dog that I had.
Oh yeah, you had a hot. Okay. We're not doing this. Let's.
They're not wrong.
Let's get right to it. The heading is Plan the Parade. You wrote that heading.
Pull it up, Alex. Canucks got to win. Pull it up, Alex.
Win on Thursday night against the Seattle Kraken. Look, you read the statsies, you read the stanchies over at Canucks Army. The statsies painted a very different picture than the statsies did, and than the stanchies. I'm not sure if I mix those up. It's hard to get them right sometimes, folks. But the stanchies, it was all fun. We were talking Canucks got a win, fun times. The belt got handed out again. Bruce got his 600th win of the. Almost said of the season. I wrote it as 600th win of the season, but 600th win of his career presented Bo Horvat, who won 20 F and face-offs, as Bruce put it, presented him with the championship belt, which we weren't sure if that was even back this year because the Canucks didn't get a win until now. So the Vancouver Canucks, as you see there, won a hockey game. It's an accomplishment. It's somewhere to start, but your thoughts on the game, because look, they got outshot, they got outplayed, like they almost got outshot.
Whoa, you keep that negativity back where you came from, Quads. No, back in Burnaby, you keep that. Ilya Mikheyev, 2 goals, 5-4 win over the Canucks. Mikheyev had 2 goals. You love to see that. How about JT Miller? Lot more effort. I tell you what, He is it is ridiculous how much more effective he is on the wing.
Not to sound too negative, do you think you're as happy about this game if Martin Jones isn't in net?
JT Miller he was effective, okay? Big block at the end of the game from Miller as well.
How many saves did Martin Jones make? Was it 11 on the night?
Oh, he made saves. He made 13 saves on the night.
Did he make 13? I thought the Canucks finished with 16
No, I think
shots.
he made 12 saves on the night.
Yeah, so not great.
Yeah, but you got Kevin Woodley coming on. Woodley's on here later. He's telling me Martin Jones is turning into Dominic Hasek lately. I didn't see it last night, apparently.
No, well, he's
but
not
JT Miller drops the gloves yesterday, had 4 hits in the game, drew a penalty, had the assist on the Kuzmenko power play goal.
And that's what the Stanchies is all about, because we had a lot of fun with the fights. Like, that's great. That's great to see.
I got a quote from you in the Stanchies. You said Pearson is adding an enforcer role to his resume.
That's right.
He dropped the gloves with Adam Larson on a big hit on Sheldon. Where's the stock going, Alex? Tanner Pearson stock. We all know where it's going. It's going up and up and up. The Tanner Pearson stock through the roof, as per usual on this show. I tell you, Pearson, he's starting to win me over.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. Just the way that he's playing, he's acting like a winner. That's what Bruce Boudreau said last night. He's guys won cups. He knows what he has to do when he's got to do it, and there it goes
through the roof
to the moon.
Okay, now can you explain to me, Chris, what you really like about Tanner Pearson's game aside from adding enforcer to
Well, I think that's the part that, listen, he didn't have a great game yesterday.
You just like that he's got the effort in the dog?
I think that what he did yesterday was just certain things that you like to see from a veteran player on this team and just want to see more of for years and years and years. You want to see players step up and stick up for his players. I mean, Sheldon Dries takes a huge hit. Last year, does anything happen in that spot? Probably not. At least Pearson stepped up and did it and really kicked off what I thought was, it was Pearson right off the bat. Then Miller fights right after.
Miller's grinning at Pearson as he goes back to the bench.
What does that do for a group? A ton. Right. And then, even Bo Horvat almost, shook the gloves a little bit. He was ready to go
Vince
too.
Dunn, yeah.
And then I got the quote from Boudreau here.
Sure, let's hear it.
Boudreau said, "You don't see fighting every day, and the leaders on this team, they took it upon themselves and said, we're not going to lose, and they showed the way. We weren't just sitting there reacting. We went after them, and I think that showed a lot of character." That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
With Tanner Pearson there.
Do you have anything else to say about this game before I call Kevin Woodley?
Yeah, a little worried here. OEL, 27 minutes and 46 seconds yesterday. Tyler Myers, 26 minutes and 1 second yesterday. A lot of ice time there.
I'm surprised you aren't bringing up Vasily Podkolzin.
Oh, well, I'm about to get to it. I got that as well. Alex, you got it. Pull it up, Alex. Pull it up, Alex. The stats versus the Kraken.
Were you surprised by the low amount of ice time for Vasily Podkolzin?
Full screened it, Alex. Jesus, slow that thing down a little bit. Yeah, I got some other notable stuff here. Dakota
Josh, 737.
Yeah, we'll start with the Podkolzin, 737. I still a little surprised that he's not getting any time on either special teams units. I think he should be out there killing penalties. This team still needs to improve on what they're doing with the PK. Yesterday, special teams helped them. It was the first game of the
2 for 2
season.
Power play, 1 for 4 penalty kill. Or excuse me, 3 for 4 on the penalty kill.
So good for that. But hey, Dakota Joshua, okay? This guy, his dog rating has been excellent so far. I know that not a lot of people are like in love with Joshua yet, But look at him, 3 shots on net in 9 minutes.
Look at him. Look at him.
Look at him go. He's got 3 shot attempts. All 3 of them hit the net. Listen, man, I'm fighting through. Okay, don't be laughing at me here. You could be you could be doing the show by yourself. 2 individual scoring chances and a couple of high danger shot attempts.
Yeah, no, it was good.
He's playing good,
and he did have that dog in him last night. Elias Pettersson again had another strong night. I don't want to talk too much about this game. Like, we'll talk about it in the wrap up, I think, because we kind of, the win. Now you go right back to it Friday night against the Penguins.
The final thing before we get to freaking Woodley, and then you can put me on the green screen. I'm out of here. I'm going to make another tea. Canucks were outshot 14-3 in the third period. But you know what? Like, okay, that's horrible, right? Like, that's not good. Outshot 14-3 in the third period. But to me, that third period didn't feel like a lot of the rest of the season where they just went out and they were waiting to lose, right? Like, the Canucks actually went out there and had a little bit of a push for someone in the third period. And don't get me wrong, they were dominated. 14-3 in the shots is not great, but it had a different feeling to it of the Canucks actually pushing a little bit. So I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was good.
Okay.
Someone says I got that dog in me for doing that. Yeah, freaking hot dog. They said I got in me for battling through my sore throat here. These Betway videos, man.
You're doing good. We all appreciate your work. You're a fighter, and you look like the listeners.
I'm
can
fighting
hear
through
it.
you.
Listeners can hear you're absolutely fighting through it. We're gonna get Woodley on in a second here, but we got to talk goalies. We got to talk. Talk goalies with Kevin Woodley, right?
Yeah.
Don't we?
I prepared a couple of questions to ask.
Did you?
Goalie questions.
Well, Fantastic timing, because he joins us right now. Kevin Woodley from In Goal Mag. Kevin, how are you today?
I'm curious to know how I appear if this is a video show and I'm not on video. There better not be like a Muppet or something in the corner as I'm speaking.
Well, I
don't trust you, Quad.
No,
okay. That was very Italian. So I was the one that picked the photo. So it's a nice photo. It's your profile Twitter photo of you smiling. That charming grin of yours with the helmet on.
That one. That's good.
Yeah, 15 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And I still have all my teeth. I hadn't taken that one off the mask that caused me to tickle it. So that's good. I like it.
He's lucky that he just uploaded that, and I didn't get a chance to do some photo editing. Put my famous editing to work here, as Quads knows too well.
Yeah, and Alex is getting to work. Woodley, you can't see it, but your face is on the green screen behind Faber now, and I don't even think he's noticed it yet. Yeah.
Just looking over his shoulder, baby.
All right.
Making sure, keeping him honest. I'm watching Canucks staff skate right now. Ryan Beach, just as usual, just like standing in front of the net, cherry picking, banging in garbage goals. No actual talent or skill, but still collects his garbage points. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, hey, let's get started on the goalie stuff, because a couple goals yesterday on Demko. I'm just curious, Woodley, like, when we see pucks leaking through a goaltender, is there something you take away from that? Because that's what it looks like right now. It's just, I think of the goal the other day where he squeezes it, kind of comes out of the crease, the puck's just sitting there for an easy tap in. To me, like, what is happening with these leaks through Demko over the first little bit here?
Well, okay, so like, which one's the second one last night? Because I know the bad one. Like, there was one bad goal. No question.
The second one
are we talking?
The second one was weird to me, because, like, did the puck not hit his glove first, but then somehow bounce around to, like, the right side and go in? Like, that one confused me a little bit.
Oh, that's Jared McCann.
The McCann one, yeah.
Just trying to get a piece, and he's kind of had a couple bad bounces where he's gotten a piece, or a lot of it's ended up trickling through, and I would categorize that one. I mean, that's not news to Canucks fans who are still wondering how the hell they gave him away. But Jared McCann can shoot. And so I thought he got a pretty good piece of it, and that's just a bad break. The first one, that's the one that's just so uncharacteristic, and there's no way to describe it other than a bad goal. And, to me, it's almost a sign of trying to do too much. I mean, if you go into a butterfly, I want Quads to do this while we're talking. If you go into a butterfly, drop to your knees, when you stick your leg out to extend on a save like that, the tendency is for the knee to lift off the ice and to break that heel. And the interesting thing to me is it's one of the things they stress so much when they're doing their work with Ian Clark, is that, we don't push with the toe, because that's how we end up breaking the seal. We extend through the hips and keep the knee on the ice and drive through the hips and knees. And as soon as you reach with the toe, that's when you sort of get those types of issues. And it's just so uncharacteristic. And at the end of the day, too, like, the extension that he's making there is basically outside the frame of the post. Like if he just sort of sits in the butterfly there, it hits him. But he tries to sort of steer it and extend it. And I don't know. I mean, to me, it might just be the sign of a guy who's just at times maybe trying to do a little too much. And so I don't view that the same way. I don't view that at all in the same discussion as, you know, the McCann goal. I don't view it in the same discussion as the Aho goal. I mean, that's Jarvis getting around your defense, creating a breakaway, and you make the save. You get most of it, and it just trickles through. Like, I don't think there's been any equipment adjustments here that's sort of leading to more of those pucks trickling through. I just think it's one of those stretches he's going through where, you know, he's getting significant pieces of grade A's, but just not quite enough. And so, you know, I don't know if that's a confidence thing or if that's just, you know, it's hockey, right? And so you just have to kind of play through it. But to me, the one that went under the pad, that's the one that he'd be the first to tell you is inexcusable. And I think it's just, you know, again, it's an extension of the leg that just doesn't even need to happen in that instance, right? And so maybe just trying to do a little too much right now behind a team where, you know, everyone knows, like, they sort of need him to steal, or they, you know, the thought was they really needed him to steal a game. And the last thing you can do as a goaltender is go into a game thinking I have to steal it. It's a pretty tough mindset to live in. And, you know, maybe those are the kinds of things that happen when you are feeling that weight, feeling that burden, and trying to do a little too much yourself.
Yeah, you think you'd be used to it by now, though. I mean, what we've seen this year, Woodley, is interesting for me. Looking at the starters, I know you have a lot more better analytics behind this from your guys at ClearSight there. But like the way I look at it, 18th in goals at saves above average at 5-on-5. Last year, Demko was second in the league at 5-on-5, I believe, for goals saved above average. I mean, is it all just about like getting into a groove with him? Like, what do you think is not clicking right now? Or is it just bad bounces, or is it bad defending in front of them? Like, are the scoring chances that high danger in front of them? That's what it kind of feels like. Like, what are you seeing, and what are you kind of reading from some of the analytics that you have available to you?
Well, I mean, like, they're not pretty. I'm not going to come in here and paint a picture like, you know, that there's so many scoring chances that, you know, and so many grade A's that it's not about the goaltending. There have been. His expected save percentage, when I checked going into the game last night, was the 5th or 6th lowest in the NHL, and so that's a sign that you're facing good quality when your expected number is that low. But the reality is, it wasn't all that high last year, and he outperformed it. And the difference right now is he's just not outperforming it. You know, he's roughly like almost minus 2.7%, you know, through last night, and that's, you know, it's 49th out of 65 goalies. That's not where you expect Thatcher Demko to be. I do think there's a couple of things at play here. One, like you said, it's just going downhill on him right now a little bit. Sometimes when that snowball starts rolling, it's hard to stop it. You can, like I said, try and do too much at times. It feels like every little mistake he makes is going in the back of the net. And I point, and I've done this a couple times, and I'll do it for you guys as well. Like, I point to the mini game, like the goal off the rush that ties it at 2. Kaprizov gets to the hash marks on the rush on the outside down the wing, and Demko reads like he's going to keep going and make this sort of a sharp angle rush attack. And he starts to push into his right post, which is sort of the system he plays. But he does it just a hair early. And as he's moving into his right post, Kaprizov passes it into the middle for a one-timer that, the defense maybe got in the way or it hit something. All true. But the reality is it goes in because he's late getting there because he had started moving to his right post as the puck was being passed to his left. And so what happens then in the third period in the tying goal on the power play? Yes, that's puck comes down to Zuccarello at the side of the net to his right, and yes, it's a hell of a tip by him to just sort of sneak it over the pad and under the blocker, but Demko's just a hair late going into that post. And normally when he is his system, and we saw it last night with the post coming off, like he is slamming in there and got that short side field. He's ahead of the play. He's quick. He's early. But you can almost picture it. Like I didn't ask him in particular about this, but you can almost picture what a goalie's thinking. They're like, I went into my post too early on the last one. I don't want to overcommit too soon here. And like those are the fractions of seconds that make a difference in the National Hockey League. That little split second of hesitation. So there might be a little bit of that in his game right now, and that's the challenge. When things start going wrong and it feels like every little thing ends up in the back of your net, that's tough. The other part that's changed here, they're still giving up a ton of grade A's. They're not giving up as much volume from the outside. And so, Travis Green used to tell us, like, there are a lot of shots tonight, but a lot of them were from the outside. And I would look at the numbers and I'd be like, yeah, there were a lot of grade A's too. But he wasn't wrong in that there were also a lot from the outside. Those are kind of gone. But the grade A's aren't. And so what are you left with? A goaltender that still has to face the quality, but he doesn't get a chance to feel his way into it. Like those shots from the outside are the ones that make you feel good. You control the puck. They're easy saves. We call them the 99 percenters. Like you're padding your stats and you're padding your confidence when teams are throwing those. And I don't know how much of that is a change in the way the Canucks are playing things or how much of it is a change. Like other teams are finally starting to look, I mean, outside of the Carolina Hurricanes who just throw everything and they possibly can at the net, most teams are starting to figure out that those shots, they really do little other than maybe, like I know a lot of teams that now through their work with their goalie coach would just regard those shots as a turnover and warming up the other goalie. And so teams are looking for quality. They're not settling for throw it at the net and anything can happen. And so that's a challenge as a goaltender and one that for, early this season, it's an adjustment he's going to have to make. Not getting near as many of those easy feels and touches that can really help you settle into a game or in this case, into a season.
Kevin, what have you thought about the management here with Thatcher Demko and Spencer Martin? Spencer Martin, expected to play against Pittsburgh. At all surprised by that? Did you think they'd go back to back with Demko? What do you think of this so far?
I think it's a good move. I would have been ready to rip somebody if it had gone the other way, frankly. What happened, and I understand there were injuries in game that led to this, like the fact that Quinn Hughes, comes off the illness, they play the wheels off him, literally, and now he's out, and now they're missing him. Like if you can't learn a lesson from that, you trust Spencer Martin to be your backup. This is a tough spot tonight. It's a scheduled loss. I don't care who's in net. The reality is the Pittsburgh Penguins have been sitting here for 2 days. Had a day off Wednesday, practiced yesterday. It was a bit of an angry practice for Mike Sullivan. I was here at the rink. And, there's a lot of pointed commentary. They're coming off their first 2 regulation losses of the season in Alberta. Like, you're getting an angry, motivated, prepared Penguins team. Ooh. And my understanding is the Canucks had plane issues last night. They didn't get home till 2 in the morning or after. So, this is a scheduled loss. Obviously, they're in desperation time. But you trust Spencer Martin to do this job. Let him do it. Don't play the wheels off the other guy and then create diminishing return, especially at a time when, maybe his game isn't as sharp as he'd like it anyways. Give him the extra time. Let him get the rest. You got 3 games next week at home. Have him set and feeling good about his game for all 3 rather than rolling him out into the fire tonight.
Just before we wrap up here, Canucks make a couple trades, and I know this is going to be a long answer from you, and I'm excited for it, but what went wrong for Mikey DiPietro in Vancouver?
I mean, you hesitate to blame it all on the year where he ended up on the taxi squad, but it's kind of hard to ignore it as well. And so, yeah, I'll say it again. They did not want to spend on having a veteran goaltender on the taxi squad, so they basically wasted an entire year of his development. For a kid that in his first year pro made a lot of strides, like the adjustment from junior to the AHL is one of the toughest adjustments a goalie makes. Everyone will tell you that. Bigger leap than AHL to the NHL. And he made it really well. Like, that was a really promising first AHL season, and there was a ton of upside there. And then once that decision was made, and, I know they would say that, Mikey didn't get over it fast enough necessarily last season, like maybe dwelled on the lost opportunity and how he ended up getting treated and the development time it cost him. And maybe, I don't know if that's the case, but maybe there is something to it. But it all started going wrong when they basically decided we won't spend the money on a salary of a veteran goalie on the taxi squad. We're going to leave Michael DiPietro in that spot. And everyone will tell you that games played. I shouted it from the rooftops at the time. Games played matter at that stage, and he didn't get any. And that was a failure. That was a failure for whatever reason, whether it was a lack of willingness to spend money on it. That was just a complete failure of that prospect development, and we have the results now. Now, I'm curious to see what happens in Boston. I still think Mikey can be a really good goaltender and has NHL upside. But when I look at the depth chart with the Bruins, there's not a lot of room at the end there either in terms of their minor league system. So I'm curious to see where goalie Bob Atenza, their goaltending coach in Boston, pencils him in, and hopefully, regardless of where it is, hopefully he gets a chance to play. Because that's what he needs right now, just a chance to play a lot. And it was pretty clear here that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, and I look back and there was an 18-game stretch where Mikey had a 920 save percentage. Like, it's not like he fell off the map completely last year. The start was bad, the end was bad, but there was a good chunk in the middle last year where he was playing 920 hockey as a goaltender in the AHL. That's still very impressive. So, like, it is a wild story, but to the follow through of that that we've seen in the AHL is Artur Silovs. You got 3 consecutive starts. Likely to only play one this weekend, but what does it mean for this early in the season to Silovs to be the starter in the AHL?
I mean, all the opportunity that Michael DiPietro didn't get, right?
Yeah.
You need to play. And hey, this is the other thing. Like, Silovs in the same boat last year, right? Like, he didn't get to play enough.
Mm-hmm.
So, and credit to him for coming in with the right mindset to take advantage of an opportunity this year in Pittsburgh. I said when they acquired Delia that I thought that might take a little time, knowing what changes they'd ask him to make and how big of an adjustment that can be. Spencer Martin barely played the first month and a half in the American Hockey League last year, and so I figured somebody would get that opportunity early on. I was hoping maybe that might be the chance that Mikey would, if he got the opportunity, maybe he could show that he can still be that guy. But you got to give credit to Silovs because once he got it, he hasn't let go of it.
Absolutely. Well, Woodley, we'll let you go. Appreciate it. Hey, have you seen Ryan Beach do a back check yet in that scrimmage you're watching or no?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I was so engrossed in the conversation with you guys that I took my eye off it. But from what I'm seeing, there's not a lot of back checking by anyone, and I think we all know that Beach should be the last one to lead that charge.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything. I don't think that was a setup question. All right, Woodley, appreciate it, man. We'll see you tonight.
All right, thanks, guys.
There he is, Kevin Woodley, In Goal Magazine.
Good stuff.
Talking goalies.
As always. I'm surprised. You actually, well, I got to say, I'll say it now that Kevin's gone. Mm-hmm. You didn't want him on the show today.
Well, yeah, I said that, yeah.
You did? You were like, don't get me Kevin Woodley. I don't want him.
No, I said we'll get Woodley. Woodley might be a regular, but he's got to be every 2 weeks.
Too much Woodley for you?
Yeah, too much Woodley. Yeah, too much Woodley.
All right, let's get to our poll question. Two poll questions.
Two different
today.
Poll questions.
Two poll questions.
I want to see Alex vote.
That'll launch us.
Alex has been quiet today.
That'll launch us into our trade talk. We'll get to our first one here. Our poll question, both of these brought to you by the great folks at Atlas Goods. Go to locally owned and operated atlasgds.com. Use promo code CC15 for 15% off your first order of pop rinds. These are the best fresh pork rinds straight from your microwave or air fryer. Very different than any pork rinds you've had before. So go check it out. Our poll question today. How do you feel about the Jack Studnicka, or is it Jack Studnicka for Jonathan Meyerberg and Michael DiPietro trade? It's good. Added depth. Doesn't matter at all. Don't like the trade. And as always, I'm Anglo.
I know where Alex is going out. Alex is quiet today. I know what he's up to. He's angry today. I can feel it.
You don't know.
Yeah, I know. Alex is being quiet today. Oh, no, he's good.
Alex goes with it's good, added depth. Okay. Along with 21% of the voters leading the vote, however, is 42% of voters saying doesn't matter at all. 30% say they don't like the trade, and 7% say they are angry. So should we get to the second one first, or do you want to tell me what you're voting?
You know what?
I'm
going to keep it quick on this one.
Okay.
I think it's interesting, and maybe Alex, you can pull up the quote here from Alvin talking about Meyerberg, that he says he's 5 years away. I don't like the Canucks moving a 19-year-old right shot defenseman
who's shown well since being drafted.
Who we had number 6 in our prospect rankings.
Mm-hmm.
He's the number 1 right D prospect in the system. You're trading him for a guy who, when you have a healthy roster,
he's their top right-handed defense prospect.
Yeah,
too.
And the guy that you traded for, what is he? The 15th, 14th guy to play in your forward group?
He's not going to Abbotsford. He's coming to the Canucks.
He's the kind of guy to me who's like in the realm of like Will Lockwood, Sheldon Dries territory.
Okay, but I think the way I'm looking at this,
Sheldon Dries at least has special teams that he can add to. I mean,
sure. But listen, Studnicka's younger, right? What do the Canucks have to lose right now? They need a center. He's going to play in the NHL. He's going to play ahead of Sheldon Dries, right?
Is he, though?
Absolutely.
You think so? Just because he's bigger?
I think because he's younger. He's got more. Look, you can't talk about, and I know, it comes down to Bruce's decisions, but at some point, Jack Studnicka is going to get he needs waivers to pass. So they're not going to send him down. Studnicka's on the NHL roster. He's not going down.
Yeah.
So what do you do then?
That's why the Bruins are happy to get anything for him.
Sure. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But again, you've got Niels Amon and Sheldon Dries is your 3-4 right now. You're telling me this Studnicka kid can't play ahead of one of those guys?
It's just, I think that moving on from a prospect who very much was showing well. This kid was playing minutes at 18 years old. He was playing 17 minutes in the SHL at 18 years old, just after being drafted. Okay, he was just invited to Sweden's World Junior Camp in this past summer. And it just feels like it felt like a real big win for the Canucks drafting this kid in the 5th round and moving on from him a little early. That's just the way I look at it.
Sure,
But,
I don't dispute that.
The way that I see it playing out is probably what the poll says here. It probably won't matter, right? I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah,
at
exactly.
all in the end. It just, the process is the thing that worries me a little bit.
Sure.
The process of, hey, let's move on from our best right D prospect for this guy who can help us here while Curtis Lazar's out and might be better than Sheldon Dries. I don't know. Sure. I think Sheldon Dries brings a lot more to a lineup. I think Phil DiGiuseppe is a better NHLer.
Sure.
So.
I think they're also looking at it. Studnicka's only 23 though, right? And again, you pimp out your development staff or whatever. You know, Pimp My Ride. Remember that show?
Yeah, I remember that show.
Yeah. So that's the context I was using the word.
And Arjun says, yeah, it's like the Gustav Forsling.
Sure. It's not like Gustav.
I mean, both were drafted in the 5th round. Both had a really good year after they were drafted.
Okay. What I want to say, though,
like I said, it's going to end up being nothing. I'm going to be pissed in 4 years if he's playing for the goddamn Bruins.
Sure.
Playing even on a third pairing. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm okay
saying.
with that. What I'm telling you is
the process.
You know, you can't be like, oh, Sheldon Dries, Phil DiGiuseppe. Look, you've got this development staff. Look, they're doing their best with DiGiuseppe and Dries, but those guys are done their development. Studnicka's not done. Like, that's what the Canucks are betting on here, right?
I guess we'll wait and see.
They're taking a bet. But you know who's not done developing either is Jonathan Meyerberg. So I understand your point. Okay, our second poll question.
We're going to have to wait and see, which is the opposite of what the Canucks are doing with Meyerberg.
Sure. Okay, our second poll question also brought to you by the great folks.
And I like I like a lot of prospects, some of them, because they chat with me. They have good conversations with them, and I like them. I like to say I like these kids. I like the kid. I like the person. I've talked to Meyerberg once, okay? I like Meyerberg because of his play. He's 6'3". He's right shot defenseman. What are the friggin' pork rinds doing up here? I'm talking about Meyerberg.
What an indictment on yourself. You're like, look, I know I talk about a lot of other prospects because they answer my calls.
Some of them get the favorable coverage. What am I going to say? I've had one conversation with Meyerberg. Meyerberg, I thought, was the best defenseman at Canucks development camp.
Yeah, I shared that with you.
But you know what? It's more of an indictment on the organization of what they have in their prospect pool than it is about saying that Meyerberg's just this massive impact player.
Yeah, it's more of an indictment.
He didn't answer the DMs, Cody. That's what I'm saying. He didn't answer DMs.
And he's still getting favorable coverage.
He was because of the play.
Yeah. So that's some folks apparently.
Pork rinds. Let's try and have some pork rinds here. One of these episodes. I'll bring the air fryer in here. We'll do it up live. It takes 2 minutes.
Yeah. Let's do it. Okay.
It might make we'll bring the air fryer in here next week sometime.
Air
people
fryer?
are like, eat them live. They are good. Okay, what's Alex doing with the video?
Alex has put an instructional video on how to make.
This is a live cam of Alex's office right now. That's Alex's finger. He's got 2 minutes, 3 minutes in there. Fire it up.
Okay. Our second poll question, also brought to you by those great folks at Atlas Goods. The second trade the Canucks made today. How do you feel about the Ethan Bear for a fifth round pick? Trade. That's also Ethan Bear and Lane Peterson. You left out Luke Schen's brother-in-law, future brother-in-law, I should say. Slam dunk. It means nothing. It's cool. And as always, I'm angry as we wait for Alex to vote. Where'd you go with this one, Chris?
Alex is gonna go slam dunk because he's got a big thing of pork rinds in front of him here.
Alex goes slam dunk. Where'd you go? Where do you land on this?
I think it's cool.
You think it's cool? Not a slam dunk. Cool. Tell me. Give me your reasoning.
Well, I think he's going to play some games for the Canucks, and you only had to move on from a 5th round pick. I don't think that's. Listen, most 5th round picks won't get to the level that Ethan Bear is at,
or Jonathan Meyerberg.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade a 5th for him. Well, I would actually, but. Yeah, I think you get a player here who's going to play. Hope that he has a bounce back season. It's clear that he wasn't going to find a fit with the Hurricanes. It worries me a little bit that Jalen Chatfield was playing above this guy.
I think that's what's giving Canucks fans the most pause is that Jalen Chatfield.
I think that's the thing. But at the same time, Jalen Chatfield might be starting. He would be in the Canucks defense corps right now anyways, too. So at least this is a guy who can come in and play. And I think look a little bit different than the right defenseman that they have right now on their roster. So you hope he can bounce back. I mean, this guy put up a half decent amount of points when he was playing with Carolina, with Edmonton when he was young. You hope that this is just a change of scenery thing can help him, and there's absolutely going to be opportunity for him, which there was not in Carolina. So like the player, from everything that you hear about the person, sounds like a great person to have in the organization anyways. And I think it's going to be a guy who jumps probably right into the lineup and helps what's going on with the defense core a little bit. Kyle Burrows maybe heading to the left side. Maybe he plays with him. Maybe down the road, like I mentioned, I think earlier in the show, for Bear, he's looking at it like, dang, if I get a chance to even have a run of 2 weeks with Quinn Hughes, I'm going to play my absolute heart out and see what you can do looking like Quinn Hughes' partner, because it seems like that door is wide open for anybody to come in and play well with Quinn Hughes and have a spot on this team. So, I think overall, I don't think it's slam dunk. I think it's cool. It's cool.
It's cool. Jarhead jumped in the chat and said that's a very competent trade.
It is a tidy piece of business.
It is a tidy piece of business. Ethan Bear can move the puck. A lot of players on the Canucks can't. And I like people on Twitter are like, what does this mean for Jack Rathbone? What does this mean for left-handed Jack Rathbone that right-handed Ethan Bear?
Top 4 Jack Rathbone.
You can't have more than 2 guys in your lineup who can move the puck. So what happens then? I don't even want to get into this. But I like the trade. I like the trade. Ethan Bear is, we're going to talk to Bagged Milk on Monday. Edmonton Oilers beat writer. That's beat with 2 E's.
Yep.
At OilersNation.com. We're going to talk to him about Ethan Bear's time in Edmonton because he played top 4 minutes there and he did it quite well.
He put up a decent amount of points, man.
He did. He put up decent points.
And he had a nice bounce back last year, too.
That's right. Yeah, he did. He
but
was
it's
just
like,
what is
keeping him out of the lineup?
Jalen freaking Chatfield.
That's the thing that makes you
That's
think.
what gives you pause.
That's what keeps me away from Alex's over here, slam dunk over here, but I don't know about the slam dunk.
Okay, before we close it out
Could be a slam dunk. Potential for slam dunk. I think there's more potential for slam dunk than potential for it to mean absolutely nothing.
Absolutely.
I'm leaning more towards that. I'm on the dunk side of it's cool.
Okay. Arjun jumped in the chat here and said, 5th this year is more value since the draft is supposed to be really deep, no?
Top end really good. You could say, once you get to the 5th round, I don't think
everything's a crapshoot
deeper than the other one. You're really just going with whatever. Lisa says, loved watching Bear as a Thunderbird. He's part of the championship. Yeah, he played his WHL hockey with Seattle.
All right. Let's get to the Betway wrap.
And Eric's excited. Eric's catching a live show. Welcome in there, Eric.
Hey, welcome, Eric. Before the Betway wrap up, Pittsburgh Penguins in town tonight. We briefly touched on with Kevin Woodley.
A little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. I'm going to the game tonight, not in the press box. I'm going down with the fans, and gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I seen the jacket you're wearing. You're gonna be sticking out like a sore thumb.
Whatever.
You want a jersey? I got some jerseys for you.
I'm not wearing a jersey.
Why not?
You're not wearing a jersey when you go either.
Well, you're taking the missus. Is she wearing a jersey?
Probably.
What's her jersey?
I think she's gonna wear the old Orca.
She should take the my Ska Faber 69 jersey.
Okay, I think that actually is good.
Either that or what I got today. Actually, I got it yesterday in the mail. I don't think I told you this yet. My boy in soccer, right? Erlen.
Oh,
Holland.
yeah.
I got a Holland jersey.
Okay.
Yesterday. Should I go grab it? No.
We got like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know, but I can be back in 15 seconds to hit the bet.
Okay, sure.
Okay, I'm going to grab it.
I'll just talk.
I'm wearing shorts.
Here.
I'm wearing shorts. Talk about Spencer Martin tonight. I got to show people this.
You really okay? Faber is very excited to show people this. He has left the studio, as those on the YouTube live can see. I want to talk about this Pittsburgh Penguins game. He's going to get his jersey. I'm not wearing a jersey to the game, but the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight. Woodley mentioned it. That's an angry team that you're getting tonight. They've had 2 days. They're probably at the Roxy last night, maybe banter room. Who knows where they were? But they've had 2 days to prepare for the Canucks. I know you want to show this in a sec, but let's actually talk about this game, Chris. Because
I heard something. I forget where I heard this. Good day for a rookie party. 2 days off in Vancouver.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah,
rookie parties know how to fire a team up.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay,
all right. You want to see this thing?
Let's see it.
Keep talking.
Well, I'm trying. I don't have anybody to go back and forth with about the Penguins tonight. I don't want to preview it too much either. Wow, that's a nice looking jersey. Okay. So for those that are on the podcast, Chris bought this. What's his name? Howland?
Erlen Holland.
Erlen. Yeah, you pulled him
like
you pulled him in FIFA. I was there and you were very excited about it.
Yeah, he was the guy. He's my guy. He's like a big body soccer player. Reminds me of Ibrahimovic, who was my boy back in the day. So this is the new guy. He's with Manchester City. So I'm a Man City fan now. Go blue.
Did you really wear a jersey to the game last time you went? Like last year, did you wear one?
No.
Okay.
I was gonna say I wore a Canucks hoodie.
Oh, that's okay. Still, that's a little off.
Yeah,
you're an accredited. Well, now you're full full season.
Yeah, no, I can't wear a jersey.
Okay, I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
I'll be down in not in the media room. I think a couple times this year. Got to bring my fiance.
I don't like going to games, you know that, but
I know. Well, it's hard because it's like everybody around you is cheering, and I think you're trained as media that you can't stand up and cheer in the press box.
well, you just watch the game so differently. Like as soon as there's a goal, I'm like looking at who's on the ice for the goal.
Yeah,
I'm not
true.
like, yeah, go team. I'm like, okay, who's on for that one, and then I like make a note. Like I'm gonna be taking notes on my phone so that I'm prepared for the show on Monday.
Yeah, no, it's true, and that's what I feel bad. Like, if I go with like a group of people, they're all jumping up and screaming when someone scores.
Arms
I'm like,
folded.
Yeah, the whole time I'm cross-armed and just like watching the game like I would be up in the press box. So it's a little difficult.
Look what this team has done to us.
Arjun's back telling me about the dress shirts in the chat now.
Okay,
I just got a bunch of dress shirts. I got my old Navy order.
I know we're going off the rails though. Let's close it out. Let's do the Betway
Pull it
wrap
up.
up.
Okay, Betway, pull it up. 2 different sports today, Alex. Pull it up.
You did a good video. I watched your video today.
Did you? You
Yeah.
like that one?
We're very off the rails today. It feels like a weird
It's
day
Friday,
for
man.
a podcast.
I like having the chat come in here on Friday.
Monday's gonna be a good show.
Kevin says, Quads, why don't you like going to games?
Honestly, literally just foot traffic
Yeah, that's true.
and car traffic.
That's a good part about, because when we work the game, you go into you're out of there like an hour after the game ends, and yeah, it's very
And
cleared out.
I
by
think
then.
the biggest thing is it's like a 40-minute transit ride for me, and I come here for every morning skate. I
Yeah.
always love going to morning skates more than I like going to games.
it's
to be
quiet,
clear,
yeah.
quieter, less traffic all the time when you come for
I
morning
tell you,
skates.
my voice is sure at its ends. I can hear it in my head.
But yeah, I think that's mostly what it comes down to is just commuting twice downtown is not something I
All
like.
right, Betway. Alex, you got the Betway up here? Got 2 different bets today. I got a Betway boost again. I'm hitting the boost again. Bryce Harper, Yordan Alvarez. I love Alvarez. I love that swing of his. I think he's got a beautiful swing. One of those 2 to hit a home run tonight. Betway boosted plus 400. That's a good one. Hey, World Series gets going tonight. You excited?
Not really.
No, I'm just
Padres lost against the Phillies.
all the way, right? Even though your Padres lost, nobody
I'm
wants
100%
to see.
going Phillies.
Yeah, who cheers for Houston? Is there a more hated team in baseball? There can't be right now, right?
Pro sports, I don't know.
Even the Yankees, like people hate on the Yankees, but I'd rather the Yankees than the Astros. The Astros suck, dude. They cheated. I don't like them.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so my question for you.
Betway boost.
Yeah, Betway boost. Check it out, Betway. Now, I have a question for you. Actually, no, it's not really a question. I guess it is. Did you see this tweet that every time the Phillies win the World
I got a
Series,
second bet here too.
every time the Phillies win the World Series, there's an economic recession?
No, I didn't see this.
Yeah, well, 2022, we're like, on the verge. They won the World Series in 2008 with Ryan Howard, right? And then they won it in like 1980 or whenever, I don't know when the other recessions were.
Jeez, talk about off the rails, eh?
Well, sorry.
Arjun says it's weird to talk about a win on the show. It is.
It was
It
weird.
was
It
cool.
kind of threw us off a little bit.
Yeah, it did. We'll be back on Monday.
Yeah, we'll be back on Monday. Don't worry.
We'll be back on Monday talking about losses. No, it's like Woodley said tonight. If the Canucks pull out a win tonight, wow.
This is a good opportunity for Spencer Martin. That's how I look at it.
Speaking of the Canucks not winning, pull it up, Alex. We got the Betway bet here, the second bet. I like these pre-built ones on Betway. Betway. Where is it, Alex? Pull it up here. We got the Penguins winning. Over 6.5 goals being scored, but little Canucks happiness here. Bo Horvat scoring a goal. Going with that. That's my little pre-built bet.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Good bet. Good bet. Good bet. Betway.
Well, that's it for the week, man. Another good week here on the show.
Great week for the show. Vancouver Canucks
Got to
in
win this
action
week.
tonight. Yeah, they did get a win.
My voice got worse and worse as the week went on.
That's right.
Not sick. I took tests.
I know.
I shoved that.
You might be sick. You just don't have COVID.
That's true. I think I'm over the sickness now. I'm just at the point of like
we'll find out
my
soon.
throat's just been killing me.
We'll find out soon.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll wrap it up there. For my co-host Chris Faber and our technical producer Alex Allard. My name is
I didn't
David
show
Quadrelli.
any cards this week.
That's okay.
No, I didn't show any cards.
That's okay.
I showed a jersey.
I'm gonna have
instead,
to mute this, and you're just gonna have to present it to the camera. Co-host Chris Faber, technical producer Alex Allard. My name is Dave Quadrelli. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Canucks Conversation.
All those Jack Rathbone rookies, baby. Jack Rathbone rookies.
Thanks for listening to Canucks Conversation, delivered by DoorDash. Hit the subscribe button to never miss an episode.
How about keep it to a thank you, Jim?